Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today we're taking a look at why men aren't getting married in these modern times. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this topic, so don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Now, let's get started.
Marriage is an L. So my thing is, you never sign a contract with someone who is rewarded for breaking it. And women in today's day and age, if the guy's the breadwinner, they are rewarded by breaking the marriage contract. See, if you look at the vows of marriage, what do they say? They say, "Till death do us part." That has to mean something in today's day and age. But it ain't the case. If I do marry a girl, it has to be till death do us part. There is no divorce. So to me, I'd have to be so certain, but your words have to mean something. Till death do us part has to mean something, and frankly, in today's day and age, it doesn't.
For all the men watching, do not ever get married on paper in the Western world. It is a trap. It is a one-way enforceable contract only that can be enforced on you. On the other hand, there is no accountability. A woman can come, get into this marriage, and take away half of your wealth that you worked hard for. And while you provided in this marriage, you are the one paying majority of the bills. And guess what? She will still, when she divorces you, take everything. Don't fall for the trap when she says, "I will never use the kid." They will use that and more with a tax on top of it. So do not ever get married on paper. In Canada, best way to live is get your marriage done in a church, mosque, or synagogue. Guess what? Get a cohabitation agreement done. Don't believe me? ChatGPT this shit.
I think that's what pushes most men away from it. It's the men are supposed to be the breadwinners that protect and provide, and then we're out here getting in the divorce court, and even custody of kids. And you have a son too, so it's also kind of stressful for you. But imagine a situation where I've heard a guy go to divorce court. Judge said, "We need to see pictures of where your kids sleep. We need to see pictures of your fridge to make sure they have food in there." And he said, "Make sure you take photos of everything you do for your kids, because you never know if you need a receipt of love."
Wow.
I don't think guys want to get married. I think we just do it. It's like a side salad. It's like a healthy option. You want the fries, but you're like, no, I'll just do a salad. Balsamic is fine. I don't give a shit. That's marriage. I'll prove it right now. Clap if you're a guy that dreamed about the day you got married. A lot of late claps. Women staring at their husbands like, "Why aren't you clapping, Brian?" If I'm single, I'm breaking everyone the fuck up. I don't give a shit. It's true, we don't want to get married. That's why I was envious of the gay community for a while, because they had it perfect out. It was illegal. I just pictured that guy getting shit from his boyfriend, like, "No, Devin, I'd marry you in a second, but it's illegal, what are we gonna do?" I want that out.
I think that getting married actually hurts your chances of keeping a good relationship in the long run. I have yet to hear a strong argument for marriage. It just seems like such a trap, man. It seems like anytime you're forced to be with somebody or you can't leave on your own accord, I think it hurts the relationship. I do believe in monogamy, and I think that, having kids would be great, but I think the first thing is, finding the right partner.
These are 4 reasons why you should reconsider marriage. Let's get it. 1, look at the fucking numbers, bro. Fuck your family and friends. The up-to-date divorce rate in America is 56%, with 80% being filed by women. And you know what's crazy? It will really be 70%, right? Because 10 to 50% of couples, right? They stay married unhappily just to keep the family afloat. It's cheaper to keep her, 2, and this for the high earners, right? Business owners, 6 figures, millions, right? A lot of y'all meet y'all wives after your success was already made, right? So guess what? When she divorce your ass, right? Because look at the stats, right? When she divorced your ass, she's walking away with half of your assets and money just for having a meow between her legs and looking pretty. She didn't work for the shit. So if she wasn't with you shooting in the gym before your success, don't fucking marry her. 3, you're most likely in the first 3 years, right? The sex is still good. She's doing things for you, things of that nature, right? But guess what? When you're falling, it feels like you're flying until reality hits. All that shit slows down eventually in most cases. Again, look at the stats. I ain't just making up numbers. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. 4, every, if not almost every married man I know that been married for 10 plus years, they always tell me, don't do it, bro. Jokingly, with a little smirk, a little laugh, but let me tell you something, bro. Every joke has the truth behind it, like a hating motherfucker, right? Come on, bro, you gotta tighten the fuck up and think with your fucking brain, the head up here and not the head down there. Now, I'm not saying don't settle down and have a family, right? Still be a leader, protector, and be there for your girl or fiance financially, right? But don't sign that contract. And if that's not enough for her, That she's marrying you for the wrong intentions and the wrong things. I'm gonna leave it at this, right? Look at the numbers. There's 3 rings: the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and the suffering. Stop being a fucking sucker.
Why men are choosing to not get married anymore. Men have always been expected to work hard, provide for a family, and do the right thing by getting married. But today, more and more men are actively choosing to stay single. And it's not because they want to play the field. The real reason why men are not getting married these days is it comes down to risk versus reward. Marriage used to mean partnership, stability, and overall lifelong commitment from both people involved. But now, divorce rates are sky high. Family courts overwhelmingly favor women. And men have heard countless horror stories about guys who lose half their assets or access to their children, or having their entire lives disrupted from a bad relationship. And over time, women's expectations have also changed, but men's responsibilities haven't. Men are expected to still be providers, but also split household duties, be emotionally available, and constantly prove themselves to be better than any of her other options. While a lot of women openly say that they don't want to cook or clean, or be traditional in any way, shape, or form. But they still expect men to provide, and overall men can see that that's an awful deal.
Marriage is a trap. Do not do it. Nobody wants to be doing this every single day. It is a trap. You know what the real trap is? We traded loyalty for options, respect for attention, commitment for convenience. Now women are walking all over the place saying, we don't need a man. And the man has stopped becoming the man that we dreamed of. It is actually scary what we're seeing nowadays. We say we want safety, but we reject structure. We want love, but we treat submission as if it was slavery. The truth is, marriage isn't a trap. Loneliness and bitterness is. One day you'll wake up alone and you will realize being alone, doing life alone, that's the real trap.
The society we're creating right now, more and more men don't want to get married. And I get why. There is almost zero upside for men getting married. This isn't me saying that men shouldn't get married, or women, but think about what society is telling men about what being a man is. Tell about society is fucking men hardcore for getting married. If you get married and you get divorced, a woman takes 50% of whatever you have. 80% of relationships, the man is the biggest provider. So that's a big fuck right off the bat. What are you getting in exchange for that? Second, if you have kids with her, you're fucked, because the government doesn't think that you deserve shit. So even good dads who try to stay in the kid's life are fucked. So there's a lot of men going, why the fuck would I do this? The good news is that will correct itself, because eventually then people start going, oh, right? When you create mistakes, you only create more error. Error creates more error. So we've gone so far the other direction that more and more men are going, like, why the fuck would I get married?
I have a question for the men. Do you guys still want to get married? Like, is that still a thing?
No. A lot of men don't want to get married. And it's not because they don't like the thought of having a lifelong partner to be there for them when they need it. But a lot of men don't want to get married because they're avoiding potential divorce. In a lot of cases, divorce ruins a man's life. He has to completely start over. And in general, marriage doesn't benefit men a whole lot. So while a lot of men like the idea of having long-term relationships, it's just not worth it.
You guys don't understand how much a woman can fuck your life up when you don't know what the hell is going on. A lot of y'all are shacking up and wifing up girls that have more sexual experience than you. She's been around dudes, she knows the game. Then your dumbass ends up, oh, let me walk down the aisle with this girl. Next thing you know, 6 months later, you're getting fucking divorced or you're getting broken up with. That's why we tell y'all, don't get married. In general, most of you guys have no business getting fucking married.
This is why marriage is a bad idea for men. A marriage used to give a man a stable life, a life in which he was enjoying the support of a wife, while he was providing financial security. But today the divorce rates are so high that men often find themselves having to pay half of what they've made during the marriage. And because the traditional roles of men being the breadwinners and women being the homemakers are no longer the norm, there is a lot of confusion. There's more equality, and because women work nowadays, they've become way more independent and they have less time to be busy with playing the traditional role of the wife. But men find it hard to adapt to this new role of not just being the financial provider, but also having to help around the house because the wife doesn't have time anymore to do it all alone. And although women wanted to work and therefore they entered the man's world, men never asked to enter the women's world and to also become homemakers. And that's why many men don't want to get married anymore. They feel it's a ripoff. They think that at the end of the day it will cost them a lot of money and it will cost their peace of mind because they don't have a peaceful life at home.
It's sad to say too, it's like, more and more men are not going to be getting married because they see this shit and they're like, why would I ever go through that? What's the benefit of getting married? You know, it's the same thing as a relationship. Like what can a woman offer me in a marriage that she can't offer me in a regular relationship? So you're going to see that more and more. And to be honest, it's going to be so sad for women. But at the end of the day, you know, they're putting themselves through this shit. You know, they're the ones doing this to themselves. So
do guys that are single never want to get married again? This comment right here, marriage is for suckers.
If you break it down fundamentally, 56% of marriages end in divorce. Like, think about, that's the ones that end in divorce. So how many people, what percentage stay together for the kids? Or because they don't want to give away half their shit? Another 10%? That's conservative.
Conservative.
But let's say 20% then, okay?
That's at least right.
You now have a technology that fails 76% of the time. That's insane. That's insane. That's more likely than not. 76%. If I told you there's a 76% chance when you walk out the door today you're going to get hit in the head with a bowling ball, you would not go out, or you'd wear a helmet for sure. But people just continue to get married. Not only do they continue to get married, there's a presumption that you should get married. And if you don't get married, there's something wrong with you. So if you've got a girlfriend and you've been with her for 5 years, and you say to someone, we're getting married, they go, oh, that's great. You know, they don't go, why? You're happy. Why would you get married? Like, everything's going fine. Why would you put yourself through that? Why would you run that risk? If you say to someone, we've been together 5 years and we've decided we're not going to get married. We're going to move in together, but we're not going to get married. Ooh, what's wrong? You have intimacy issues? What's your problem? Meanwhile, 56% end in divorce. It's literally fits the legal definition of negligence. It's a negligent behavior. The way you define negligence in law school is when what you lose by not doing something, okay, is lower than the risk of harm. It's what's called a BPL analysis. So the burden of not doing a thing is lower than the likelihood, the probability of harm. So BPL, so burden, probability, and loss. Marriage is an inherently negligent activity. It's like owning a lion. Like, the likelihood of someone getting hurt seriously by this is very, very high. No one ever says it to you. Because why? Because, and I would say something, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I still get misty-eyed at weddings. Like, I still really, there's something in me that goes like, you know, maybe it'll work out for these two.
So somebody asked me what's my opinion on marriages. I've made videos about marriages, but here we go. The way laws are set up in the United States of America, I would not recommend marriage for any man, okay? Had the laws been equal and favorable, I would definitely recommend marriage, as I feel like it stabilizes society and creates a safe space for children. But the way the laws are set up, men have nothing to gain and everything to lose through marriage. Alright, you get married on the beach, you have a nice honeymoon, you come back home, you invite friends over, you go about your life, everything is fine and dandy, and then one day, she hits you with the divorce, she's bored, she wants something different, and now, you've been paying for the house out of your pocket, you've been going to work, you've been saving, and the house, you lose it, and whatever savings you have, you end up spending it on your lawyer and her lawyer. You lose everything. So many men end up homeless. So many men even lose their cars. There are men that are living in their cars, but some men go homeless. So I really don't recommend it.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.